Inflation. Are there concerns? Well, we're seeing some signs of that in the market. Before we jump into the row crops, let's look at the U.S. dollar index, and we are moving higher. This stronger dollar, though, is really related to the inflation concerns. Now, we are watching other currencies move lower. For example, the Canadian dollar has fallen to a 2-month low. Again, some will say that opens the door for others to move their products into the U.S., whereas a weaker dollar encourages more of an export. So is that affecting our row crops? Well, no, not really. $4.9025 on the December contract for corn. That's up 8.5. The old crop up 8.75 on the July at 4.7425. You know, we go to soybeans, and soybeans are up 14% year over year. November right now trades 11.43. That's up 11.75. Wheat market and Chicago, July 6.17.5. That's up 16.75 cents. And that's trading in a 20-cent trade range right now. And then we go to hard red, that July contract at 6.4375. It's up 22.5. How about spring wheat? Yep, it's moving higher. And finally, cotton market, it's back into positive territory, up 2 points on the D's, 72.67. He's with Robinson Ag Marketing. It's Chris Robinson. Chris, what are you watching here on the row crop side?
Well, we're back to trading whatever happens with crude oil. Crude oil is back up. I'm looking at it right now. Just look over my screen. We're almost back to $100 a barrel, 99.40. That's going to continue to be the driver. And you did mention inflation. Inflation came out hotter than expected. I will say this. If you go back to when we had really bad inflation in the 70s, it was actually good for commodities. So I know that sounds kind of contradictory, but and that's why you see so much money coming into physical commodities. There are inflation fears out there, and the driver is crude oil. No two ways about it. So all this volatility we've had really since March 9th. It's been almost watching soybeans trade exactly with crude oil. I know it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. It is. I've been doing this for 30 years, but that's what's driving us right now. More so than anything, more so than supply and demand. This is all about what crude's doing.
Yeah, and good point there. And by the way, that whole energy sector, we've been rolling through it. One quick note on gasoline. Our futures are now at their highest level in 3.5 years. So we're seeing that play across that entire energy sector. Hey, Chris, quick break here. We'll come back for more in just a moment. This is Market Day Report. We are watching a little bit of pressure right now in the protein sector. Losses are not deep. Look at April live cattle. We trade that one down 27 at 234.95, and the June at 233.45. It's down 25. And again, we get a cattle on feed report. It comes out on Friday. Feeders down $1.62 on the March, 358.17 April. The most active here at 353.07. It's down $1.72. How about hogs? Yeah, hogs still lower. Losses from 22 to 55 cents. So light losses here. Even the July at 109.47 is towards the higher end of the trade range, but still in the red, down 35 here on the session. Chris Robinson's with Robinson Ag Marketing. So cattle on feed report this week. I think we get a hogs and pigs report out next week. So plenty of things to kind of keep our focus. But what is the trade really looking at right now?
Well, I think a lot of what we've seen in the past, really since March 9th, since the war began, was there's been more interest in the financial community owning all physical commodities, not just crude oil. So the managed money, they've got a big long bet now in wheat. They've got a big long bet in corn and beans. and they've been long the protein complex for quite a bit. So that's the risk right there. I think more than anything, the Packers, we always talk about the cash market versus the Packers. The Packers margins are back in the black. We're entering typically the grilling season, right? So there's anticipated demand coming up forward. Now we have a little price weakness. I think that flows through with what happens in the stock market. If I'm concerned about anything, if I'm long cattle or I own cattle, it's what happens to the stock market. The stock market is down a little bit here today, 400 points. The S&P is down about 50. But I think the cattle on feed and the pigs report, a lot of that stuff, Tony, it's already baked in. We have really good market information. It's kind of different than when we have the grain reports where there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a pretty good handle about the supply chain for these animals.
Okay. Hey, Chris, it's great to see you. Chris Robinson's with Robinson Ag Marketing. You can also catch him on Commodity Wrap, Rural Radio 147 on Sirius XM. He's with us every Thursday.